Tell me why this man screenshots her messages, sends it to his guy's group chat, and says, I told you.
I'm at my wit's end, and all hope that I ever had for having a family or a partner who loves me is like quickly flying out the window.
Someone in their late 40s, never been married, and no kids. Run.
What the is wrong with y'all? Y'all don't be wanting to go nowhere.
She asked me, why did I ghost her? I didn't think I ghosted her, I just blocked her.
Welcome back to More to Life. Before I get into this video, like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get all my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get right into this.
Y'all, I was with my brother the other day and one of his little kept texting him. He showed me the messages and she first sent one paragraph. Then when he didn't respond, she sent another paragraph. And then when he didn't respond again, she sent another paragraph. Tell me why this man screenshots her messages, sends it to his guy's group chat, and says, I told you. Moral of the story is, ladies, before you double or triple text that man, think about it. Because he might be screenshotting your text and sending them to his friends talking about, I told you so.
No. The man knew she was crazy. She didn't even get it. The girl is clearly a nutcase. He's saying, I told you, she's crazy. No patience. He tested her patience. Is it right? No, it's not right. But sometimes it needs to be done. He tested her patience, showed she was in that case, and probably told his friends, you can't deal with her. The booty's bomb now. But you can't make that your everything.
Okay, I'm gonna be so vulnerable right now, which is weird for me because this bad has feelings, okay? I need help. This dating scene is it's beyond, it is blasphemous, it's heinous, harrowing, disgusting. Why is it that men cannot treat women with an ounce of human decency? Where did the audacity come from? And trust me, baby, I know this is not a new argument, but I am at the point where it's like being didn't work. Being kind didn't work. Trying to find the balance between being and being kind didn't work. I've read books, I've listened to podcasts, and I'm not putting my worth based on how a man feels about me or treats me. But at the same time, I need to know if I'm doing something wrong here. You know, you're either too available or not available enough. You're either too nice or you're too much of a bitch. You're either too much like one of the homies or you're being used. And like, I'm at my wit's end. And all hope that I ever had for having a family or a partner who loves me is like quickly flying out the window.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
And there's not much left. So please, can anyone give me some hope? Just a little bit of hope. Just pass it over, please.
Those days are over.
Just anything. Ah!
He's too much like a homie. That's what she said. Too much like a homie. How about you bridge the gap? Right? How about when that happens, you feel like he's a nice guy. That's why you put him in that position of being too much like the homie. How about you create the spark? Yes, stop waiting for the men. It may look like a trash 3 or 4. Try something different. I'm not saying it's gonna work. I'm saying you have to be unexpected. Now let me put it like this. What's wrong with him being a nice guy? What's wrong with him being a friend? What's wrong with that? He's taking it slow. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Maybe he's used to everything, or maybe he's not used to anything at all. He's not getting dates. Did you ever think about that? Not every guy is Chad. Not every guy is smashing 3 or 4 girls. Has a bunch of numbers lined up. He's talking to just you, and he takes you into deep consideration, and you don't do the same thing for him. Sad.
So if you meet someone in their late 40s, never been married and no kids, run.
We agree.
Over 27, unmarried, female. What do you call this lady? In China, if women who remain unmarried in their late 20s and 30s, we call them 剩女, which means leftover women.
I cannot imagine dating someone in their late 40s that's never been married and no kids. Like, what the fuck is wrong with them?
It's happening to a lot of guys. Another one thinks every guy is Chad. Listen, most guys are at home. They're grinding, going home, maybe go to the gym, go home, play video games. That's what he's doing. He's not thinking about having kids. He doesn't want that financial responsibility. And what's going on with those guys? A lot of times those guys are fine. Like, you see a lot of times different ladies struggling, right? Struggling with getting groceries. Many different videos. I showed it before. Check my content about a month ago, 2 months ago. You see it. A lot of guys aren't going through that. Why? Because they're not having kids. They're being responsible. Or they may not get girlfriends. And what's wrong with it? If you're not giving them the time of day, what do you think is gonna happen?
No one wanted to wife them up, or no one wanted to marry that guy? Or was he a little playboy? He didn't want to ever commit to anyone. He likely has never had to sacrifice or put anyone's needs in front of his. Who knows? Maybe it was the whole, his career came first. He had to move so many times. There's always so many fun excuses. But never would I ever, if I was a guy, I would think this as well. Want to be in a relationship with someone that's in their late 40s, or heaven forbid, older, that's never been married and no kids. I'll leave those to everyone else.
See, so she made this statement, right? I believe, what's her name? Melissa Ford is that way? And is something wrong with her? No, there's not. Actually, there is. Strong, independent boss babe.
I don't need a man.
So what happens when girls are being strong, independent boss babes and players? What are guys to do? Guys are trying to do the same thing. There are some guys that are following down that path. It's wrong. Yes, it's wrong. But some guys are being responsible. Some guys are not spreading their seed. They're not being irresponsible with spreading their seed. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
One time, I asked this guy that I was talking to come see me, and he told me that if I was 10 minutes away, that he would come. So when he plugged in my address, to my dismay, he found out that I was 13 minutes away from him, so he didn't come.
Oh, man.
I just started twitching thinking about this story. 3 extra minutes. He said, "You won't catch me there." He messaged me back and he goes, "It's looking slow." Oh, you know what? But I got the last laugh because he requested me on Facebook a month ago. And I haven't responded.
This is where every Louisiana boy comes to measure himself before he puts his height on Hinge. Okay? That's what he did. He goes, I'm going to measure myself in the park. This is the real truth right here. And how tall am I, Callie?
6'2".
6'2".
She really 5'11".
5'11". That is like
Little.
3 inches taller. This is exactly where they all come to get their Hinge measurements. You're welcome, boys. At least you can say you didn't lie if you use this thing.
Oh, I'll take Kelly.
She's a tall girl. What did they say? What's that one? That's a big bit. Damn, the thing bust right in Granny's face. I hope she's right.
Yo, you dudes that don't be wanting to go out is mad weird. Like, I'm tired of people making it seem like we supposed to be, oh, you know, we don't have to go out. I'm an introvert. Man, I don't give a if you an introvert, an extrovert, or Gerald Levert. Like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Y'all don't be wanting to go nowhere. Y'all literally just be wanting to sit in the house all day and not go nowhere. That's just weird. It's just weird. I was not talking about, oh, the mental people don't want to. Nah, I'm talking about just don't go nowhere. You know what type of dudes I'm talking about. I said, the fake introverts. They ain't introverts, they just fumps.
That's a man that doesn't want to waste money. I commend that man. Smart man. Now, you're the type that probably wants to get lawn furniture or get something that's unnecessary. Let me go look at this. I think I'm going to start having some barbecues, invite some family over. A lot of times, if man is not right, he's not playing that. He's trying to stay home. Oh, yeah, she's an off model. Yes, he should have shut it off. What you doing?
I can't stop being horrible to men.
We do not care.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny now. Do that 20 years later. Let's see how you laughing then.
I went out on a date with a guy one time. He said, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a negotiator. And I didn't tell him exactly like how that plays out in real life. I was just like, yeah, that's what I do. And he's like, oh, okay. So that's how you make the big bucks, huh? And I was like, I guess you could say that. And then a couple days later, we're on the phone. He's like, hey, how was your day? I'm like, it was good. And we're just chatting. And he's like, you know, I feel like I really have to be careful around you. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, because you're a negotiator. He's like, I'm trying to be very mindful of the things that I say. I was like, well, how perceptive of you. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, that was an interesting card that you just played. Because the negotiator never shuts off, okay? It's the way I think. It's the way I see the world. It's the way I hear information. I'm discerning. And I said, well, what makes you think that saying that to me was a wise thing to do? He's like, I don't know. I just have to watch what I'm saying around you. And I was like, well, why is it so hard for you to watch what you say around me? Is there something that you're trying not to do? Is there some version of yourself you're trying not to show me? I mean, just by stating that, now I have 5 backup questions for you. Then I ask him a direct question, and you know what he does? He hedges me. And what
for my new single life checklist.
What is a hedge? It's that thing that people do where they don't actually answer your question, but it's a very simple question to answer. So I asked another question that was exactly the same question, but 5 degrees of north. We just shifted the question a little bit. You know what he did? He hedged me again. So this happened 3 times in a row. And I just said, have you recognized that you have switched your position 3 different times in less than 5 minutes? Yeah. Okay. I think we're done here. Truth is succinct, was long. It has never failed me. Not answering very simple questions. Red flag. That was easier than I thought.
Doing that'll be why no guy ever talks to you. Aren't you trying to find a man? And you're chastising guys every day just because he said, I have to watch what I say around you. You should have joined in some banter and said, yeah, you sure do. The guy was just trying to be light on his feet. He was trying not to be so uptight. And then he noticed what you were doing and shifted. Of course he did.
I gotta talk about this idea that if men open up to women, that women will use it against them. That has nothing to do with being vulnerable. If somebody is taking where you expressed emotion or your feelings and someone takes that and throws it back in your face, whether it be an argument, being sarcastic, putting you down, or criticizing you, that has nothing to do with men opening up and being vulnerable. It goes both ways for women too.
It sure does. It does go both ways for both women. Be vulnerable to each other. That's what love is about. I guess, oh yeah, they're not trying to find love. Like the last girl. Examining every single thing a guy says. That's the way not to be in a relationship. That and what she just said just now.
I was talking to this guy and he's like, oh, what are you doing today? I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to get my nails done. He's like, I really like blue nails. You should get blue nails. So I got these. Because I don't give up what you like. Are you paying? No. I like red nails. Okay. Sorry, blue nails. Okay. Go paint your nails blue.
That was your opportunity to do something that a guy likes and you get an attitude. Am I losing my mind here? Like this, she just said that. And she was serious about it. This was your opportunity to be a pick-me. It could have worked. It could have worked. You probably would have had him sprung. Because seriously, I say I like something and you go do it, I'm taking that into deep consideration and saying this girl likes me because she likes that I like that. Let me tell you something about men. A lot of men are trying to find ladies who are into them because that's the only way they're going to straighten up, right? Like I'll tell you like this. When I got my wife, because she was into me and willing to put into me, that made me want to do right for her. Same thing with every man. It's like a gene we have in us. In order to turn it on, you have to show a man you really care. I'm dropping some gems now. And if you are watching and you're a female and you want to pick that up, that's how you do it. If you do things for a man, you show him you really care. The right man, though. Not the 10% man every woman wants. The right man. Do things for the right man. And it's probably the guy you would never talk to, or a guy you kind of interested in who's a little too nice. That's probably the guy. That's probably the right man. Do things for him, he gonna break his back for you.
This how you know only make unrealistic standards for men. I've never seen a stud over 6 feet that make over 100K, over 6 figures. But I always see a stud with
That's true. You don't see many studs over 6 feet. You don't. They're usually short. They're usually around 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", sometimes maybe a little tall, 5'10". And they're not making over 100K. He's right. Why have those standards for men? You know, you usually see girls that get with the studs that have been cheated on by men. And that was the 10% man, right? But why don't you just go get a regular guy? It's weird. What happens in the date market, it blow your mind and go, wait a minute. So you turn gay because the guy that cheated on you is who all these girls want. And instead of getting a regular dude, you switch over. Really?
I'm sitting here laughing about a situation, right? I'm over here in McDonald's. I see a young lady, and she asked me, why did I ghost her? I didn't think I ghosted her, I just blocked her.
Emotional, damn it!
This was some time ago. And hopefully she'll see this and she'll see why I ghosted her or blocked her. More of the story is, met a woman, went out quite a few times, enjoyed her company, beautiful sister. And she told me that she has some medical problems, health issues. Cool. You know, I have a problem with that. You 40 plus, you know, we all have issues. I just haven't had mine as of yet, and I pray that I don't. But the moral story is, this sister says she has, what is it called? Damn, seizures. I don't know, the grandma seizures. I don't know what type of seizures she had. And I know for a fact, I remember a friend telling me she was driving and her cousin had a seizure. She had to take the wheel before they hit a tree or something. But get back to my story, for whatever reason, she told me she had seizures. And I said, well, things work out with us, I'm going to hold you down. I'm going to make sure you're good and teach me how to, if I got to put a tongue in your mouth, not a tongue, a spoon in your mouth, or whatever medicine or whatever therapy, or I'm going to do whatever I can as your man to make sure that you're good, financially, physically, and spiritually. She said, cool.
That's good. That sounds like a good dude right there. Let's hear the rest of the story.
We're getting along. A couple of days later, we're still talking, and I'm telling her that what I require as a man, you know, I like to eat. I'm 240, I'm 6'2", and I like to have food for my lunch and possibly for my dinner. So I'm saying if things were to work out with us, you have a problem with, you know, doing meal prepping at least 3 meals a day so I can eat at work, you know. So I don't like spending this money here and there. She told me positively, no, I do not cook, period. My daughters cook, and I'm not cooking for a man. I'm not prepping no food for a man. That's not who I am as a woman. I'm like, so I'm sitting up here telling you how I'm going to hold you down mentally, physically, and spiritually, and financially, and even as far as your health is concerned, but you telling me as a woman you refuse to cook for a man, but you talking about you want to be a wife.
Wow. I see why he goes to her. Reciprocation is everything. The man told you with his heart. He said that with his chest. I'm willing to stick a spoon in your throat. I'm willing to drive you where you need to go. I'm willing to do whatever needs to be done for you to be okay. But all I want is someone to prepare me food so I don't have to spend a bunch of money at work. I know how it is. I've had jobs before where you out and you're blowing money. Like sometimes you eat lunch and you go to a restaurant and you go ham. No, I'm sure many of you have done it as well. Go to a lunch and you go overboard. You blow $30, $40. And like, man, I was hungry. Seriously, it happens. Or everybody say, hey, this was the thing. When I was working, I said this was about 20 years ago. I'm getting Red Lobster today. Yeah, some people used to say that. I know it's bugged out. Red Lobster for lunch. Yes, I'm blowing $50. Boom. He doesn't want to do that. He asked, can you do this for me? You said no. Ghost her. Good job, my man. Find somebody who's willing to do something for you.
Here's my hot take on this. Gender roles are gender roles. Each gender is very specific to themselves. Men can't have babies. Women can. Women can have babies up to a certain age because that is how their bodies and biology works. Men can never have babies. They make babies, but you gotta have a man in order to make a baby. So we do have to agree that men and women are different. And I know that this has been a very clear topic of conversation for a lot of people for a lot of other reasons, but let's just be clear on that specific. Men cannot physically have a baby, but they're needed in order to make a baby, and a woman carries a baby. Very simple. So when we start talking about if people don't believe in gender roles, then they're okay to split things and split finances and not care about that kind of stuff. But are there not a man and a woman in a relationship? I'm not saying that there shouldn't be equality and equitable interactions in a relationship, but a relationship is not based on transaction. When you start talking about basing relationships off of a transaction, you are losing the entire point of a relationship. It's going to fail every single time because you are expecting something for giving something, which is not the way a relationship works. And I will say, even in same-sex marriages, there's not 100% equality. And it works. And it works why? Because they kind of agree as to who takes over what role. Because there's gender roles. And that's kind of a thing. So I think that if we continue to move away and think that everyone is equal 100%, we're never going to have our own expression. We're never going to have women being women and men being men. We're going to all just show up to the line and be like, who's who? No one's going to be able to tell. So we have to be okay with understanding that there are gender roles. We just have to be okay with that. And the more you try to force that away, the worse relationships get. And we've seen that. And I think that's one of the problems.
Yeah, and who does that? Who tries to do away with gender roles? The female counterparts, right? They play daddy a lot by getting careers, following their career, chasing the bag, and they don't realize it. And it's funny because that's exactly what the patriarchy wants, which is not the man, right? It's the government. That's what they want. They want you to be independent. And what she's saying is right. You have to give in. You have to understand, look, you can't pay everything. You can't do everything. I'm here for you because I'm playing my gender role, right? So you play yours. You take over with doing this, making sure the family's protected, making sure the family's well taken care of. It doesn't have to be 50-50. Doesn't. I'm not one of those guys. I don't believe in 50-50. But I do believe in a lady contributing something and bringing something to the table. And every guy's asking for that now.
I saw a video of this lady who's talking about leaving her husband, and she left her husband because he came home and told her one day that he lost his job, and she was like, okay, cool. And then I guess the following month he was asking her about paying the bills, and suddenly, according to what she says, she was like, oh nah, that's not what I signed up for. Like, I mean, I would consider it if you're gonna pay me back. And he was like, no, why would I pay you back? Like, I'm in a rough spot, right? So isn't that what like relationships are about? Essentially, she came to terms with the idea, and according to her was pretty blunt in saying like, no, like, you know that I expected you to be a provider. So if you're gonna look to me to pay a bill, to even think about a bill, I'm out. Like, I think it is absolutely crazy that in 2024, knowing the cost of living, knowing all that it is that we know, women are still running around acting absurd. Like, let's just really think about this. So you're married to a guy who admittedly has been paying all of the bills. You haven't even had to think about them. You told him your money is your money and his money is your money. Apparently, after just 1 month, he has no money because he has to look to you to be able to pay the bills that he's not able to pay in the moment. And you're only willing to do that as a loan. I could see how you're benefiting from this because this whole time, I guess you've been pocketing your own income. But what then is he getting from this? Like, the benefit of being in your presence? Y'all gotta stop being delusional. That's why people are moving in the way that they're moving. That's why people feel so loudly about, you know, when they see couples getting together and they just know that these women are going to behave like this. I understand it. And I think at the end of the day, if this is what it's going to be, then marriages need to just automatically come with prenups. The same way I think that when you have kids, you should automatically have to have a DNA test before a birth certificate is signed. Like, these guys are getting all types of twisted and robbed legally, and there's no protection for them. So fellas, if a girl is not willing to sign a prenup, or if a girl tells you, like, I expect you to be a provider, I don't even want to think about a bill, and if I have to think about when I'm out, like, take her at her word. Understand she's probably for real. And when you fall in hard times, which inevitably at some point you will, you're going to be by yourself in these trenches while being tied to somebody. It's crazy.
I got to tell this lady, though, because she probably doesn't realize, but a lot of guys understand that already, and they know, and they take what they say at face value, right? That's why there's so many single women running around devastated, going, no man's interested in me, because I like that. And as soon as a guy notices a clue, a little bit, once he notices her acting in a certain way, she shows gold digger traits, right? And then also she's saying my money is my money. No, a guy's running for the hills. He's never talking to her, or he'll stop talking to her. Why? Smart. We're getting smarter, and she's not dealing with it no more. But yeah, guys, thank y'all for watching. See you next video. Peace out.